Hello and welcome back to my channel and to Bookish Bingo round number 12. So, it's already October, I cannot believe it. I feel like this year has just gone by so quickly and all of a sudden there are just a few months left of the year. Which means that there are yearly challenges and stuff to wrap up. First of all, let me talk a little bit about September. As you may remember if you watched my September TBR, I had some stuff going on in September. Aside from my Bookish Bingo TBR, I also had 2 month-long readathons that I was trying to fit in and trying to make books overlap as much as I could. That actually went a lot better than I expected. I was able to overlap things between the readathons and my Bookish Bingo TBR very well, actually. I talk more about that in my reading vlogs for September. The first one of those is already up and the other one will probably be up after this video, so you can go and watch that if you're interested. But that means that I was actually able to complete my Bookish Bingo TBR for September. As I'm filming this, there are a few days left of the month and I have finished everything aside from one book. And I only have a little bit left of that book, so I will definitely finish that one as well. So let's move on to October. I don't currently have any plans for readathons and such that I want to do in October. So for this month, I'm really just going to focus on my Bookish Bingo TBR and also trying to check off some more prompts from the Pop Sugar Reading Challenge, which I'm not going to get into here, but just know that some of the books that I will put on my TBR this month will check off prompts from that challenge as well. But without further ado, I guess let's just get to Bookish Bingo round number 12. Okay, let's do this. So the first number of this round is number 11. And the prompt for that one is romance. Then we have number 2, and the prompt is a book that I acquired in 2020 or later. Number 6. Oh, we have a wild card. Number 13. The prompt is contemporary. Number 24. And the prompt is a hyped book. And there we have a book with a dark cover. Number 1. And the prompt is an ebook. Number 5. And that is a crime, mystery or thriller. Number 21. And the prompt is to read a first in a series. And there we have our first bingo opportunity. So number 16 would give me a bingo. But you know, let's see. Still plenty of numbers left. Number 4. And that is an historical fiction or a classic. And we have another bingo opportunity. Number 3 would also give me a bingo. But we have number 12. and that is to read a non-fiction. And then we have number 7, and that is a new to me author. And there we have another bingo opportunity. Number 19 will give me a bingo as well. And we got number 16. Ooh, big book. So a book over 500 pages. And that one also gave us our bingo. Not a very long round. So let me bring you over and we can see what the bingo is. So this round, the bingo is an ebook, a wild card, a romance, a big book, so a book more than 500 pages, and finally the first book in a series. So that was my Bookish Bingo round for October. I am mostly pretty happy with the prompts that I got, maybe aside from one. But let's just go through the prompts and what I plan to read for each one. The first prompt that I got was to read an ebook. And for this one, I am planning to read a book called Introducing Mr. Winterbourne by Joanna Chambers. There are a few reasons why I want to read this one. One, it's super short, which I need this month, which I will get into later in this video. Two, it's historical romance, and I've just been meaning to read more historical romance. It's just something that I want to read more of, basically. And this particular series I've heard good things about. And then 3, I think the second book in this series is a holiday book or holiday story. So I think I might want to read that one in December, so I figured it was a good idea to just start now. This one is super short. It's a novella. I think it's probably just over 50 pages. But that's a good thing this month because I have some big books, or in particular one big book on my TBR this month. So I'm excited to read this one. The next prompt that I got was wildcard, and this one is always a good one to get, especially when there are particular books that I want to fit onto a TBR. So for this prompt, I'm going to read No Exit by Taylor Adams. This will be my audiobook for the month. This is one that I have been interested in for a while, but I know it's set during winter, or there's like a blizzard or something going on, so I figured it was a good idea to read it when it was a little bit colder outside, which is why I've been waiting for this one. Ideally, maybe I should have read it when it was actually winter, but it's getting a lot colder here now, so I feel like it's a good time to pick this one up. Don't know too much about it. I know it's a thriller, I think. And like I said, it's set during a blizzard or something like that. Don't really know too much about it aside from that. But it's been a while since I read a mystery thriller type book on audio, and I always enjoy those on audio. So I think this one will be a good one to read on October. I'm just kind of in the mood to read a book like that, so hopefully it will be one that I'll enjoy. The next prompt that I got for my Bookish Bingo was to read a romance. And for this one, I am planning to read Equinox by Charlie Goodwine, or Goodwine. Not quite sure how you pronounce that name. This one, what I know about it is that it's about a guy who wakes up one day not remembering his past. I think that's sort of the premise of this. I don't really know much about it aside from that. Initially, I thought this was historical romance because this book or this series recently changed covers, and the cover that I have, based on that one, it looks like it's going to be historical, but based on this new cover, it looks more contemporary. So now I'm not quite sure what it is, and the blurb doesn't really tell me that much. So it will be exciting to see. I don't really know what to expect from this one. I think it has some paranormal magical realism elements, but aside from that, I don't really know too much, but hopefully it will be a good one. The next prompt that I got for Bookish Bingo was to read a big book, so a book with more than 500 pages. And this is the second month in a row that I've gotten this prompt. Last month it was the Bookoplathon's fault, this month it's Bookish Bingo. And I had to look at my TBR because I don't actually have that many books that have more than 500 pages. And most of the books that I have are like adult fantasy books that are in series. And I didn't really want to start a new series this month. So that left me with pretty few options. And when it came down to it, there was really only one book that I wanted to read. It's probably not the best idea to put it on my TBR this month because it's one of the biggest books that I own, but still, I'm going to read it. The book that I'm talking about is Assassin's Quest by Robin Hobb. This is the third book in the Farseer trilogy. As you may know, I have been reading this trilogy over the past few months, and I have mixed feelings about putting this book on my TBR for October. In one way, I am super excited and happy about it because as I'm filming this, I am finishing up the previous book in the series, which is Royal Assassin, and I'm just so into it. I'm absolutely loving that book. So for that reason, I am excited to jump, or pretty much jump right into this one and continue with the series because it's definitely one of the books that I'm the most eager to read right now. But it's also a huge book. Like, this is over 800 pages. And like I said, I am currently finishing up Royal Assassin. That book is 650 pages. And ideally, I would have liked to take a little bit of a break between reading that book and reading this one, because I know from experience that reading a lot of adult high fantasy can make me feel a little bit drained. So I think it would be a good idea to maybe take like a month break from this series or something like that. But on the other hand, like I said, I have been reading Royal Assassin for almost all of September and I'm still just super into it. So hopefully this will be okay. Honestly, I'm not sure I'll be able to read this entire thing in October. I'm reading the series very slowly. A lot slower than I read most other books, and obviously I have other books to read this month as well. So I'm not positive that I'll be able to read this entire thing, but I'm going to try. And like I said, I am excited about just diving right into this book and continuing the series because stuff is happening in Royal Assassin right now. So like really, I am really excited about this one, even though it wasn't quite in my plan to put it on my TBR this month. And then the final prompt that I got for Bookish Bingo was to read the first book in a series. And like I just mentioned, I wasn't really in a mood to like start a new big fantasy series right now, so I picked another type of series. So the book that I'm going to read is Darius the Great is Not Okay by Adib Khorram. This one is a YA contemporary book, so very different from Assassin's Quest that I just talked about. I also own the sequel to this one, so it's just a book that I've been meaning to read for a while, so I'm excited to finally do that. Don't know a ton about this. Like I said, it is YA contemporary, and I think it is about a guy who goes to Iran to visit his family there, or his grandparents, I think. And I think like it deals a lot with identity and fitting in and things like that. And I also think the main character in here, he struggles with depression as well. So I've just heard a lot of good things about especially this book, but also about the series as a whole. So I'm excited to read it. And I've owned it for a while as well. I think probably a couple of years at least. So it's definitely time that I finally get to this. And I think it will be a nice break in between reading the huge book that is Assassin's Quest. So that is going to be my TBR for October. It is a TBR that I'm very excited about, but I am not at all positive that I'll be able to complete it this month. Like I said, Assassin's Quest is going to take me a lot of time to get through. So I wouldn't be surprised if I have to take a punishment prompt next month. But I mean, I've been able to go through the entire first year of Bookish Bingo without having to do any punishment prompts. So I mean, I'm not too mad if that happens. We'll see. I'm excited to get into these books, and hopefully October will be a good reading month. So that's going to be it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, you can always hit like down below, or you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos from me. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!